Straight No Dash, what's good? It's your boy, Akona, politicking with the homie ones, the host of Straight No Dash, where we cut straight to the chase. No chase is allowed. We speak everything music and we keep it 100, raw, just like it is.
100%, man. We're not sugarcoating nothing here. We're breaking it down as it is. All things upcoming hip-hop. Guys, you're going to get the straight truth. So don't get in your feelings, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah, man. Leave the feelings at home, It is what it is. And if you have anything to say about it, reach out and we can have a conversation. Easy.
Facts.
Hey, bro, did you listen to that new Cass album that just dropped?
Yo, man, I actually got it yesterday, fam. And listen, I'll be honest, bro. I'm not Cass is not the first person I look for on a playlist, and that's nothing wrong with his music, I just have a particular preference. So, I don't rush to go click on his music, but, eventually I got to get to it. Nick Kaiser is an amazing artist, successful. So, yeah, I actually got hold of it yesterday. So I've only had probably, one or two listens. Haven't gone through the full thing yet. But, my man, from what I heard, Cass might have one. Well, from what I heard so far, he might have one.
I feel exactly the same way, bro. And to be honest with you, it's the features that drew me in. And I didn't know what to expect, based off his first two singles.
Yeah.
And then when I heard the man's music from the intro, beautiful. I love the content.
Thingy with that was dope.
Exactly. I love the content and the direction to which he took his sound this time. I think he was trying something new and it worked. He has one, in my opinion. He's got one.
Listen, I'll tell you one thing, Vits, and I've seen it not just from Cass, but a couple of artists. I think he locked down in this whole COVID thing, it locked dudes in their house. And it kind of forced guys to really, really get creative. You got nowhere to go, no shows to make. Because how many tracks are on that album, right? It's damn near 20 or something in there. There's a lot of music on there. So I think, yes, it's a blessing in disguise, this COVID forcing guys to be at home. I think guys really dug deep in the creativity. Just with the features Uzola, I think people were giving, him some grief, like they expected Uzola to go and rap, in Casper's features. But Uzola's not a one-dimensional artist. I think he's always made, if you've listened to any of his albums, he's always made music, not just rap, So I think he applied the same creativity to this. And I think shout out to Casper, my man, in bringing Uzola back into the limelight, at least in the music front. So digging it so far, man. I think nice album from Cass. Some of the rapping, again, listen, it could be tighter. Could stay in pocket a bit more, tighten up some of his flows and delivery. But, the content I've heard so far, my man, hard to hate. Hard to hate on it.
Indeed, bro. I know exactly what you mean when you're speaking about that Zola feature, because I think also people, when they saw that Pro Kid feature, they were expecting an unheard verse, where Pro is Pro. But you know what? Actually, I love Pro on the hook. It's rare to hear Pro on the hook. So for me, it was refreshing, It caught me by surprise, and that's a good thing, because I was expecting one thing and then delivered another way, which is man, I love it.
Surprise.
Exactly. It was one of those Easter eggs. But now for real, bro, props to Kaz, keep the music coming. We love it,
Yeah, listen, sorry, before you cut, that same thing, so I think it was on two tracks actually featured. I went to listen to the one, Friday something, I can't remember what it's called. Yo, something Soweto, my man. Yes, that dude is special, bro.
Man is like, a gem, bro.
Hey, not gonna lie, that man is special. Like, just musically, as much as yes, he's kind of blown up, I still think we haven't heard the best from him, but better like creativity wise, rather. Crazy. Dope feature by Cass as well. He picked his features like perfectly in this album.
Indeed, bro. The features, the beat selection and everything. He did well. And I think it's a testament to what we're going to touch on today, in terms of
facts.
If you want to call it a artist starter kit or a rapper starter kit, if you will, something a lot of these cats just don't have the time to look into. You find that homies just want to jump on the mic and release music, and then they think that that's enough, of which there's a lot more. There's a lot more that goes behind it, Sometimes it can even take an artist, damn near years to get one that hits, But I think it's from us being in the game now for as long as we've been in the game, and from what we've seen and what we've experienced, and speaking to these artists as well as getting the kind of feel what they've went through, I think we've kind of established and actually have some background to know what we're talking about when it comes to this, I feel.
So maybe before we jump into some of that stuff, I think, listen, some people listening may not even know about E-Mic in Check, and kind of all the work we've done. So maybe just a brief background. We've been working with upcoming artists for years, out of the Cape Town area. We run a dope hip-hop website and blog. A lot of other things we've been involved in the hip-hop game, specifically working with upcoming artists. So we've had a lot of exposure to, upcoming artists that are actually making it and those that are not making it, and we've been fortunate enough to study the game tapes and work with so many artists and see what works and what doesn't, So I think it's a key piece for us to just break down some of those things where cats get it wrong sometimes, and there's two sides to it, where there are also some industry gatekeepers, who are not doing their job in getting the right kind of talent up on the spotlight. But at the same time, on the flip side, there's some artists who are not on their job, who are not doing, what needs to be done. So, it's not a one-sided issue here. Guys say open up the industry. Yes, we've got to see new faces, 100% agree. But some of the new faces need to put in a lot more work than, drop track here and then hope for the best, So yeah, which side do you want to kick it off on, Brian? Kick it off on the starter kit. Let's talk about what guys should be doing.
Yeah, no, for real. That's where I want to start before we get into the guys that are doing it right and are actually being blocked by the gatekeepers. There's a lot of talented artists, a lot of them, and I think the one thing that they need to figure out, if they haven't figured it out by now, is that talent is not enough. It's not enough. Hard work beats talent by a mile.
Easy. Man, wish it wasn't so, but it is.
It is. Unfortunately, it is. You can be the most talented individual, but you find that nothing is happening for you, whereas the least talented person is the hardest worker in the room. So the hardest worker in the room always gets what's due to them. So, for instance, what I have come to realize and what I have come to learn is that you can be a creative, right? As an artist, you write beautiful music, production is good and everything, but it's not enough to just record a song and then just put it out there, more especially if you're going to put it out on your personal Facebook. Like, I think now the one thing, or a few, just to mention a few things that should be already at the back of your mind. One, I need to register on Samro amongst these other bodies, Samro,
Step one.
Those are just the basic steps, Do your research on those, register there. And then after you've done that, if you can find someone who actually believes in you and actually has the time to push you because at the end of the day, sometimes being an artist and being the business end of yourself as well is a recipe for disaster. So sometimes you need someone who's going to push you and be that manager, if you will, Someone who's going to tell you, hey, you need a Facebook page. Hey, you need a Twitter page. Someone who's going to guide you in terms of how to actually have proper media etiquette. Because sometimes the homies just feel like it's okay to just jump on and say whatever they want to say, you know? And
No, yes, it's 100%, bro.
nah, for real. So it's those small things, you know? And also what's crucial is building your fan base, you know? We understand that you put your music out on SoundCloud. Now, how do you take that fan base of SoundCloud and put it into your other streaming platforms, you know? Also, just at the top of my head now that I'm thinking of it, before I forget it, people need to buy into the brand. People need to buy into you.
Yo.
Your music is not enough. People buy into the character. You know, if you go by, let's say, AJ, right, and your real name is Andile, people want to know who AJ is. You know,
Facts.
What does AJ do? Why are you called AJ? What does AJ do on a regular, on a weekend? You know, how all that, you know, sort of like follow the reality TV recipe in not so many words, if you will. You know. Let people into the artist. If you are one of those people that can lead that kind of double life, you know, where your personal life is personal, but the artist side is what people need to see. You know, they need to buy into that. You know, you need to give them a reason to actually click that download button. So music alone is not enough to just put it out there to your personal friends. Also, from that fan base, right? If you build an organic fan base, and if your music is on rotation, if you get healthy rotations, then you build your fan base bit by bit by bit to such an extent that now it's hard not for people to recognize or realize who you are, you know? And
yeah, bro.
Jump into features, man. Man, jump into features. You need to be hungry, and that's the thing. If you're hungry, right? Not only are you making music for yourself, but you want to jump on a song. Yo, doing features, you know? Put it out there. Like, artists don't even put it out that, look, for this month alone, I'm going to be doing features, right? If you've always wanted a feature from me, hit me up. That is traction on its own. And so when people hear you on an artist that has more following than your fan base, people are going to be curious, like, hey, who's this, you know? And then just are the ones that I'm thinking of right now, bro.
My man, you gotta slow him down, bro. There's too much game. I think some of these guys are trying to write that down too quick. Like, yo, hold up. Now, I think 100%, because a couple of things you've touched on there, you know. First one is just getting the basics right, is what you said. I think I'll just to take it back. Get the basics. You know, you're never gonna go anywhere without a plan. And part of that plan is getting your basics right, registration rights, Facebook page, just all the platforms. So start there. 2, as with anything, if you're in business, you know, if you're going to build a house, you're not going to just do it yourself, right? You get the guy who's an architect, get the plans done for you. You can't do that yourself. You know, get the guy who knows how to do the bricklaying, mix the cement, do the foundations. You're going to need help along this journey. You know, so think of that the same way you're going to be a brand, you're a business. You know, you're not just some random dude. If you're really serious, you are a business and a brand. So you got to get the right people, you know, around you. I think 3, the piece you were talking about was consistency. I'm telling you now, man, the mind cannot ignore consistency. I'm telling you, if Abantu are seeing you daily, everywhere, and your work ethic, Yako, is on point, you are at some point, someone's gonna click. Hey, you know what? This guy's been on my timeline 100 times. Let me actually hear what his music is like. You know, there's one of those things where you put out 100 tracks at some, and I'll use Youngster as an example. Youngster CPT from Cape Town. The dude's got over 30 mixtapes, bro. 30.
Imagine
30 mixtapes before he dropped his first album. I don't care what you say. At some point, you were going to have to come across his music.
Definitely.
After 30 mixtapes, at some point, you were going to have to listen to one of those things and go, man, this dude is dope. You know, and he wasn't sitting there going, oh, you know, people don't like my music, whatever. I put out no, he worked at it. he's got his brand, he's got his grind, and and eventually the industry had to listen up. So I think similar to that, he has his fan base, he's bringing them along. I think actually if you look at what he's doing, I'm trying to play it in my head now. Features is actually what got him on the national stage. Being featured on Oh Do Me, Do Me featured him on a couple of tracks, a couple of remixes. We've always known him in Cape Town and across the board, but we started doing some really dope features with some of the mainstream Joburg cats. That's when it kind of tapped into some other markets, because they're like, yo, who's this dude? And when he goes on the track, best believe he's killing everything. He's not playing. It doesn't matter who's on that thing. You're going to go, who's that guy? Who's that guy on the third verse? Who's that guy on the last? Yeah, that's Youngster. Then you're like, okay, let me look him up. And you can see that that's a man working with a plan. Now, on the other side, when I'm fair to, you've released your 2 or 3 tracks that you've recorded. In a whole year, you've recorded 2 or 3 tracks. But you say you're serious.
Son.
Whole year, you recorded 2 or 3 tracks. How are you serious?
How, bro?
Who's going to hear that? Where's the output?
How?
You
know what, ne? Sticking to that, artists that I like that has actually come to learn that's how you go about it is Ukhanju. Because Ukhanju, from when 2020 started, be it pandemic or not, Mchita has dropped music consistently. He's been on features.
Yeah.
He's been on features. He's dropped a project earlier this year. I think he dropped another. He's gonna drop his 3rd one now. And
I heard him on this feature Kill Bill, some Kill Bill track.
Yeah. And before that Kill Bill one, there's another feature that is on. So it's one of those things of learning the game now. So I can see, okay, he's picking up on it. So it's true what you're saying, bro. At the end of the day, people are going to notice. And you know what's cool is that you don't limit yourself to what your people or what your fan base is used to. And that's how you also grow as an artist. When you take yourself out of your shell, if you take yourself out of your comfort zone, that's the only way you grow as an artist. Like, for instance, I don't understand an artist that just listens to one genre of music.
My man, one-dimensional.
For me, that is just a recipe for disaster, because there won't be growth there. You won't have any substance growth, nothing, because that's all you're listening to. If you've been listening to hip-hop, and here's the thing, the hip-hop greats aren't actually influenced by hip-hop.
I hear that. Say that again. Facts.
The music greats, which are the hip-hop greats, aren't actually influenced by hip-hop. Because they grew up on your soul music, your jazz, your blues, Facts. Bro. So, and they take that kind of music and you can actually hear it. You can hear it in the cadence of the verses. If you listen to Nas, you can tell Nas that his father was a blues player,
Man. Kendrick.
Yeah, bro.
And that's, yes, what you're touching on there is, and this is where I'll take it back to saying, if you are serious about becoming an artist who makes money and has a career, right? And not just a hobby. And so let's just make this clear. If you like hip hop, you're doing it for the love, and it's just a hobby, you just want to rap and record, and you're not going to eat off this. Hey, my man, by all means, do what you need to do, right? Don't take none of this stuff we're saying seriously. Stick to doing what you're doing. If you don't want to go anywhere, there's nothing wrong with that as well. We're not making that wrong, but we get a lot of people kind of inbox us and write to the website saying, yo, they're trying to do this, trying to do that, but I'm just not giving them the time of day. So if you do want to get beyond where you are right now and make some kind of career out of this, then some of the stuff needs to make sense. The whole having outside influences to yourself only and one thing you listen to, it gives you a broader understanding and it gives your music a broader flavor. You know what I'm saying? You're adding more things to the recipe. The reason Kendrick's music, as example, kind of stands out is you can see the different influences that he listens to. And then you can also see the different artists that he is around, for example. Same, I mean, when you look at Casper's album that just came out now, you can tell the influence of some of the people that are pushing him creatively, where he hasn't gone to before. You see what I'm saying? And he's already at the top of his game, and he's still elevating, because that's what you need to do. So same with you. You're an upcoming artist, and you've been recording the same kind of track, over and over. Get exposure. Get exposure to other artists, how they work. And also, they'll give you a bit of game on what's worked for them. And that's part of the thing of building relationships, getting out of the only, that small circle you're in, and the yes men around you saying, hey, Beto, you dope. But, your song barely has 50 plays on SoundCloud, and no one, to be honest with you, say, my man, here's some game tapes. Go left, go right. Pick up your work ethic. Pick up your flow. It's a bit shoddy here, my man. Your writing's not there. Get the right production. Go knock on doors to try to perform at shows. Go, don't sit. If you're trying to build on this thing, take it as a 9 to 5. What kind of 9 to 5 would you have if you only showed up to work 3 times a year? Could you get paid at any job showing up 3 times a year? Yes
Never in your life.
Never in your life. They would have fired you, my man, within the week. So if you're trying to build a rap career or a music career, and you're an upcoming artist, and you're not working on your craft 8 hours a day, if you can afford to, right? If you got a job and you got a kind of side hustle, you're at least 2-3 hours a day working on your craft, working on your music, working on your promotion, working on, getting your music to different platforms, working on knocking on doors, working on getting shows, working on getting features. You need to take that stuff seriously. Otherwise, without that work ethic, the fans, have no loyalty to go and support you. For what?
Why would I waste my hard-earned money for something what? That you're not taking seriously? Not for real.
And that piece you spoke about, Mveta, I know we're jumping, but, it's in the spirit, so I got to go there. About letting the fans see who you are, behind just, I've posted my track, please retweet, or please share. Okay, can we get some visuals? Who are you? You got a camera phone these days. You don't need, this top-class camera work and all of this. Put a video up, talk about where you are, where you're coming from, what you're trying to do. This is what inspires you. This is the music you listen to. This is where you're trying to go, X, Y, Z. Let us see who you are, Talk about, break down some of the tracks you've released. What inspired that music? Who are you working with? But to get a camera phone and put that thing out. Never has marketing yourself been this cheap before.
And you know what? Everything is at your fingertips right now. For me, the biggest waste that you can ever make is buy a phone with 20K, and all you do on that phone is just play Candy Crush and be on Twitter talking a bunch of nonsense. That is fair to the world is at your fingertips right now. We have artists right now that are linking up with artists overseas. Shout out to Onels. Onels has a dope song right now, linked up with an artist from the US. And from that, he has also made now, I think he's going to make another song, another collab, an international. I think he has 2 or 3 in the pocket right now,
It's work.
And that man is a hard worker. Umshita, I think he released his album, late last year.
End of the year.
Yeah, and he's already on his second album that he's working on, but he's releasing singles, bro. He's releasing... Bro, and you know what, Nick? Here's the thing. On that man's WhatsApp, all you're going to see is him playing his music. On that man's Twitter, all you're going to see is him playing his music. On that man's Facebook. You know what I mean? So he's living, eating, breathing this thing, whether you believe in him or not. He's convinced in his mind that he's going to make it. So who are you to tell him that he can't do it? You know what I mean?
Man, I got to jump in there and you remember it's called Explosive DJ now.
Hey, bro.
Explosive DJ. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to the homie, my man. He's been putting in some crazy work. He's got the EP out called Plan B.
Fire.
And my man, it's funny because again, his work ethic also through the roof. Not just work ethic, but just dedication to the craft. and improving what it does and on his business side. I caught him on a live, I think 2 days ago or some shit. With who's this guy? DJ Switch, I think. DJ Switch.
Yeah.
You know, he was on a live there. But every other day I'm seeing him, he's putting out on IGTV, him playing his music, his keys, whatever it is, making some beats. Consistent. Even if there's 10 people on the live, he's on it. He's engaging with the guys. And he's got guys like Ginger Trill featured on there. He's bringing up other artists. You know, my man. And we've obviously had an interaction with him for years. Back, I was looking at an interview we did with him, I think probably 4 years ago.
When he had that big ass hair.
The big ass hair, you know? And I mean, our cameras were terrible back then, you know, sound was shit. But I look at that, and then, you know, I think it was called Usaik at the time. But the kind of work ethic he was putting in, you know, DJing at every club, he was putting out music with All Contra Gang. You know, recording here, native drums. They just all over the place and consistent. And then today you look at an EP, he's getting shout outs from everywhere. You know, and what are people going to say? Hey, overnight success. Right? He's going to blow up, be listed, charts here, TV, videos, you know, whatever it is. And it's going to be a overnight success, whatever it is. And yeah, sure. We got to see him 5 years ago.
We see him in the
gym, and you seen him in the gym. But it's 5 years later, and the consistency hasn't stopped. You know, so when 3-4 months from now, he's a much bigger name in the industry than he already is now. I'm under like, you know, he's lucky, and they'll find a reason to say I'd worked for him because of this.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
You know. So yeah, I think on that tip, it's just like you, and still, let us see your work. Let us see you making the shit. So like I said, reality TV, getting a look behind the scenes. It shows your personality. It shows you going, shit, okay, this verse not coming together. Or, you know, if you're a rapper, drop some damn freestyles once a week or something, bitch.
Speaking of dropping a freestyle once a week, shout outs to Ilro.
Hey, 16 bars, 16 weeks in it.
Who has done that?
Come on, man. And that concept in A2 was crazy.
Exactly.
Speak on that, bro. That thing was crazy.
He saw, like, okay, fine. Instead of sitting on all these bars, let's do a marathon. 16 bars for 16 weeks. I even copped, I recently copped it now because he recently put out the whole project on all the streaming platforms. So I decided to cop it, you know, and then I just had to remind myself what freestyles I loved and what I loved about him. Bro, that concept, nobody's doing that. He came up with it, you know? And you know what, Mfethu, of those 16 bars, it shows the diversity of him as an artist because he's touching on different subject matter. That's the first thing. Secondly, you're also hearing his production because a lot of people, some may know him more as, you know, the rapper.
Producer, yeah.
But the production side, yo, Mchita is fire.
Crazy.
Fuego, like, no lie. So, by doing that, you know, and he did the 16 bar. When did he do that thing? Did he not do it like early this year or late last year as well?
I think it might have been late last year as well.
Exactly, but it still spilled over to 2020, you know? And I think he's on his second run now.
Second season of that.
Exactly. Now, being on the second season of that, when, like, I'll use myself as an example. I'm still captivated from, okay, the first 16 bars was fire. Now I'm gonna listen to this, the second season of it. However, he's gonna hit us with that Cape Doctor album that he's been working on for years that he used to drop. You know what I mean? So he's not letting up, you know, he still has his foot on people's necks, you know? So by the time you are, you know, just mellowing out from the second season, he hits you with the album.
Oh, not chance, my man. There's no chance.
You can't give people space to breathe. You can't, your name needs to constantly be on people's minds, because what people forget more than anything, one, nowadays, because music is such a fast sell thing, music gets outdated very quickly. It's very hard to find classics right now, So if you know, for instance, that you have a classic in the pocket, the one thing that you could do is have a 16-week, 16-bar marathon, not letting up. You build up. So by the time you drop that, it's solidified, it's a classic, and it keeps us going. Now you have a solid fan base, so that even when you drop whenever, you are guaranteed X amount of cops,
Facts.
Guarantee these are the numbers that of the people that are now cop this project. So it's just one of those things, man. Like, I don't know, people need to learn from the game, and people need to learn from each other. Like, people need to learn from their peers.
Yeah, observe what they're doing. Observe, look around, what's working.
Hey,
And just on that 16 stuff, it's not just, he wasn't dropping 16 bar verses like audios. It was 16 videos, my man.
Exactly.
He shot 16 music videos.
Exactly.
16, like this, I gotta write the song. I gotta record the song. Okay?
Exactly.
I gotta go record the video. I gotta go edit the video. I gotta go put the whole thing together, load that thing up, push it. And then by the time I'm done doing that, if the next week, episode 2 needs to come out, episode 3, episode 4, like, just think about what it would take for you to do that and produce and have output at that level, that consistently, and then you're gonna compare yourself to that kind of person, and you've released 2 tracks this year.
Hey, bro.
What are you expecting to happen?
It's apples to oranges, man. There's no comparison, my guy. Like, you're fine that you didn't do anything, man. Like,
you might as well save the time, bruh, and go like do something else.
Hey, like, concentrate on something else, for real. But in the same breath, bro, like, we have the people that actually are doing everything right, but now you find that there's actual people who actually have a foot in the game, that are actually keeping the door ajar,
My man.
You 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but this person is just, or these people are just holding this door, And you know what? Because I honestly don't like dwelling on gatekeepers, because I think that shit is whack. I think that shit is played out,
Yeah, whack.
Lamachita should just, hey, brah. Because at the end of the day, if you've picked up on anything of what we've been speaking about up until now, if you do that consistently, if you are a consistent person, a person can only hold the door in your face for so long.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, think of it as a body of water that you're actually filling in a bucket, right? The water is not seeping out from the bottom. But at the end of the day, by that water constantly being filled up in the bucket, it's bound to spill out.
Yeah,
so there's no way that you can keep it contained. You need, like, I think people just need to be brutal and relentless in what they do.
Go after it properly.
Go off, be unapologetic. And not everybody's gonna like you. Stop looking for people to like you out here. Just cut that shit out, Not everybody's gonna like you. But you know what? You can still monetize if people not liking you. This is what people don't understand.
Hey, the villain gets paid, bro. People don't like you. People pay to not like you.
Fam, I would rather be a villain and be paid
than to be liked and broke. Nah.
Right? And at the end of the day, I forgot who said this. They said you become famous before you become rich.
It's lyrics to. It's a rapper said it on a lyric.
Right?
Come famous before you got. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it is, but it's a lyric. It's a rap lyric.
Yeah, you become famous before you got. And you know what? It's true, bro. That is 100% true. Money comes afterwards, and I think if you're a person who has, if you're a curious individual and you've asked people who are passionate in what they do, in terms of what keeps them going, they'll tell you the passion keeps them going. The money comes afterwards.
Yeah, but things people don't believe that shit.
They don't.
It sounds like okay, cliche, my man. You don't want to give me the secret. You're hiding the tips and whatever it is. Like, because when you're on that side, right? And then you go, yo, what's the secret? Like, how do you, how did you get here? And you say, yo, my man, you gotta love what you do. Be passionate. You gotta work hard. You know, it's like it's people are always looking for some magic formula. Right, when the formula is actually straightforward, it's like I'm about to say, yo, man, how do you lose weight? I'm like, I can tell you right now, it's 100% fail-safe way to lose weight, guaranteed. You want to know what it is? Eat healthy, exercise.
Simple. Simple.
I wish there was another secret. Okay, eat healthy, exercise. That's it. Okay, and this is the same thing. And it's your passion, dedication, the hard work, consistency, like all that stuff is non-negotiable.
Nah, not at all, bro. Your passion.
You gotta get paid, and you gotta market yourself, push yourself. Like you get other guys like, nah, I don't wanna be. You're kind of begging people to play my music. It's not begging. You gotta sell. You gotta sell your stuff. You gotta, And then when you get to, and I want to touch on quickly the gatekeepers who aren't doing their job as well. You gotta push until someone actually hears you. But you do get people. And especially, let's say in hip hop or music. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you, obviously we haven't been in clubs or anything like that in ages, but when was the last time you were at a spot and a DJ was playing and they played a brand new song you've never heard and you were like, yo, who is that? When was the last time that happened? You know what I'm saying? And DJs no longer break songs out, like break out new artists.
No,
they just want to play the stuff that everybody already knows and it's already on radio. Like that never used to be the case back in the day. And I'll speak on hip hop specifically, but I think house probably maybe it happens in house music. I'm not too close to that. But DJs would get the tape first and break it out at a party, and people like, yo, what song is this? Who's this guy?
Exactly.
Radio DJs would break out new songs, and not from famous people, but like. Because it takes work to go and listen to new artists. Now, DJs are lazy to do that work. They're lazy to go find new artists and mix it into their sets in the way that still gets people bumping. Like, yo, like, people can still groove to something that's new if you've put it in the right way. We get thousands of submissions, so we're lucky in the sense that we've created a platform where we try and highlight, these dope new artists. That's our passion, But in that, I listen to, let's say, maybe 50 songs a week. You know that one song, when it starts, you're like, whoa, hold on, what's this? And DJs, a lot of them aren't doing that work anymore.
No, they're not.
You could have whatever many songs in your set, but break in one song, and put it in a way people are like, yo, what is that? Some of the people who used to be on their job back in the day, listen, I'm not saying all of I haven't heard it in a while, bro. I'll be very honest. I'm not hearing DJs breaking out new songs and new artists, not even close to the way they used to back in the day.
Nah, bro, same here. I'd be capping if I said I've heard a DJ that actually has introduced a new song, It really hasn't happened in ages. It's true to what you say. But in the sense of also... if people study the game tapes and if people go back to studying the game tapes, you will know, number one, as a hip-hop MC, you had a DJ.
Facts.
Facts. You had a DJ, So, you know what happened? Your DJ would go warm the crowd up for you. Facts. So, when I may be wrong, bro, but like, when was the last DJ artist collab, like in terms of hip hop? Like they're a duo, like a set duo.
Yo, the last one, and it's not mainstream, nothing, bro. That I can think of mainstream. Nothing. I can only think what is this group, man, in Cape Town with Tunzai and Yo, man, what is their name called? Indo. J1. Oh, no, it's more producer and rapper producer, kind of piece. I think also Psych used to DJ with them as well, though. I think Explosive.
They were a group, yeah.
They were a group, was within contract. So
exactly.
That was the last time I actually saw a group. That was a group, where you had DJs in the mix, producers in the mix, rappers in the mix, and they would kind of work together. But and that's Cape Town's pure hip hop. But you're right, industry wise, I don't even know who's Casper's producer. I don't know. I mean, his DJ. No, guys aren't doing that anymore. That's fact.
They're not, bro. And you knew like back in the day that if you're paying for an artist, you're paying for his DJ as well.
Yeah.
Because
that's facts.
Because if you're people like if you're a guys that are a duo, right, or whatever you want to call yourself, and your DJ is there to warm the crowd up, by the time you get in there, you're knocking them out of the park. You're knocking it out of the park. Of which that formula, I'm sorry, but that formula still works till this day. Don't knock it if you like. Now sticking to mainstream, right? A lot of DJs now are also producers, but at the end of the day, if that producer /DJ/artist is working with you, when they see them, they see you. When they see you, they see them. There too. Even if, for instance, now that person is booked without you,
facts.
Guaranteed, your song is going to be playing there.
Your music is playing.
You're getting rotation, right? Oh, and just by the way, guys, I think what a lot of guys also don't get is that I think that we can touch on another time that actually if your song is being played at clubs or wherever, you get money, not just radio. Stop keeping your eyes or having blinkers on of just thinking radio. There's a lot of ways in terms of especially in this internet age, you can make money.
Yeah, now I think we'll have a whole other topic on how to monetize your hustle and your grind.
Facts.
Especially at the early age, because listen, don't get it twisted. In as much as some cats haven't broken out onto the mainstream, it's cats out here making money off shows, bro. It's cats out here making money off some of them. There's ways to get that paper, coming in even in the grind.